Hey guys, welcome back to Maelstrom Gaming Studios. I'm Craig.
And I'm Connor.
And we have another Tyranid deep dive video for you. This will be a quicker one, but we're going to go over probably what I have found to be the biggest troll in the Tyranid codexes. That is the Tyranid Biovore. Now, I have used this unit in 9th edition now, and I'm really enjoying them. I haven't used them prior to 9th edition a whole lot, and I know there is a section of the Tyranid community who swears by Biovores day in and day out. I have not given them the time of day as I probably should have. Now I have.
You may be joining their ranks.
I am joining the ranks. They are fun, and I need to share my experience and knowledge with you guys, so we're going over this deep dive today. If that all sounds good, you do like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our content here at Maelstrom Gaming Studios. And if you want to help support the channel just a little bit more, do consider becoming a member or checking out our Etsy shop in the links down below. Now, with all that out of the way, let's dive into today's video. So the Biovore was brought to my attention again by a channel member, Magical Zonky. Thank you, Magical Zonky. Oh, that's nice there. He said he swears by him after using them a few times. So all right, I'll do it. I'll use the Biovores, and I have used them in a few games now. I love them, so let's go over this. This is gonna be a deep dive. We're gonna go over the data sheet like we normally do. We'll also touch on the Spore Mine one because that's kind of important. We'll do their adaptive or high fleet synergies. There's not really any, but there's a few. We'll point them out because that's what we do.
They just kind of do their thing.
Yeah, there's not really any stratagems either, so nothing to do there. But more importantly, we'll talk about the damage output and the play style of how to use the Biovores effectively, because as being the trolls that they are, that's really where they come into their own. So, and then wrapped up with a fun little conclusion there.
Yeah.
So how about you start off with the Biovore data sheet, and I'll kind of come in there.
Cool. Let me just say, I was shocked to find out that you like Biovores now when I found out about 45 minutes ago. But let's find out why. So the Biovore, you can buy it in units of 1 to 3. They are 45 points each. They have a movement of 5, weapon skill and ballistic skill of 4, strength toughness 5. That got buffed in this game.
It did,
book.
yep.
Yeah. Like everything else. 4 wounds, that also got buffed. They do have 2 attacks, leadership of 5, and a 4+ save. So pretty, it's a Pyrovore
It's
body.
a slightly softer Pyrovore.
Yeah, a medium-sized Tyranid thing. So the reason you buy them is their gun. It's called the Spore Mine Launcher. 48-inch range, heavy D3 shots. And for strength, AP, and damage, it has a bunch of asterisks because you can shoot at stuff that's not visible. And then the other part of it is each time an attack is made with this weapon, if a hit is scored, the target suffers 1 mortal wound and the attack sequence ends. So every dice you roll that hits is a mortal wound.
No need to roll a wound, just
Yeah.
hit. So you basically have a 50-50 to do a mortal wound.
That's so
on
odd.
each of them.
Huh. It's like a flamer mortar.
Kind of.
If you know what I mean, yeah. Actually, scratch that. That's more it's more complicated than that. Never mind. I just thought about it. And his other gun are his chitin barbed fists. Strength +1, AP -1, damage 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Craig can tell us what they really do.
So yeah, you could shoot if you want to, but the real meat and potatoes comes from the Spore Mine seed action, or the seed Spore Mines. So at the start of your shooting phase, you select 1 Biovore unit, so you select your unit, and they do an action. And the action is just represent them shooting, so they can't shoot and do this at the same time.
Yeah, interesting that it's an action.
When completed, set up a new friendly Spore Mine unit on the battlefield more than 6 inches away from an enemy unit and wholly within 48 inches of your own unit, the Biovores.
It's range.
The Spore Mine unit contains D3 Spore Mines per Biovore in the unit. So basically, instead of shooting your number of times and then your misses turn into Spore Mines, you just don't shoot.
That is interesting.
So on average, it's 2 Spore Mines a Biovore that you get out.
Right.
But perfect thing with this is that they don't cost reinforcement points. They never have, thankfully, with the Tyranids. It never cost points to spawn these little things.
Which it shouldn't. It's just like a little,
it's
mini bomb.
You're paying for it when you buy the Biovore itself. So, and it's how you use this action is really where it comes into play. So we'll touch on the Spore Mines too, just because they are an important part to this.
Yeah.
They have their movement of 4, web skill bliss, so 6 up, strength 1.
Strength 1.
They're toughness 3 now, which is better than they used to be toughness 1.
Right.
And they do have a 6 up save, which is better than their 7 up save that they used to have.
Same armor save as an orc boy.
So you could fail to kill one of these if you shoot at it.
Hilarious.
Unlike you used to be able to just basically auto kill them.
It was like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Huh.
They've got a lot of special rules here.
Yeah.
The drone Biovore is basically their limitations on everything. They pass morale tests, no actions, can't charge. When someone is doing any scoring, they do not count them. So that means you can't score them for objectives or engage purposes. They can't get no prisoner points for killing these things. Your opponent ignores them when they're doing deep striking. So
you can't overwatch
No, you can't. So you can't screen out your opponent with Spore Mines.
Oh.
So you could teleport right next to my Spore Mines. You recommend you don't, but you could.
Oh. Okay. Gotcha.
And they don't count for lookout, sir. 3 models. You can't have your Neurothrope shielded by 3 Spore Mines or anything.
They're basically not a real unit, for lack of a better word. They're like
Pretty much.
It's like a little floating bomb.
They're a floating death balloon.
Yeah.
A small one.
Yeah.
So speaking of floating death, their special rule, this is where all comes down into play.
Yeah.
Is each time a model in this unit ends a move within 3 inches of enemy units, or an enemy unit ends a move during which any of the models come within 3 inches, the model explodes.
Okay.
So when that happens, you select the enemy unit that came within range. You roll a d6 for each Spore Mine that explodes. On a 2 through 4, they suffer 1 mortal wound. On a 5+, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds, and on a 1, obviously nothing happens. So when you go back to launching out your Spore Mines from actually shooting them, that's just 1 mortal wound per Spore Mine. Now here, you have a 33% chance to do d3 mortal wounds. So you pay for the risk reward, but it's more mortal wounds that you can deal out.
Yes.
And you can set them up if you actually buy, because you can just buy units of Spore Mines. They can deep strike down and 9 inches away instead of the 6 inches like from the Biovores.
10 points for 3 Spore Mines, is that what that means?
Yeah, 10 points for unit 3.
10 points for unit 3.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's how Spore Mines work. Hopefully that all made sense to you guys.
I think it makes sense.
So now let's go to a few more little things and we'll get into the rest of it. So High Fleet Synergies, like I said, there's not much, but there's some you can take advantage of. High Fleet Leviathan allows you a free reroll to hit in the shooting phase. So you could, with your Biovores, just get 1 extra mortal wound per shooting phase if you choose to shoot. High Fleet Chronos gives you 4 inch extra to your range. So now that is 52 inches. It does not add, because the rules are written, doesn't add 2 inches to your action range. So when you spawn them, it's still 48 inches of range.
In action.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
But that is something. And then finally, the Hunt biomorphology for the adaptive trait. Heightened reflexes, fall back and shoot at -1.
I don't really see any of these super coming into play.
No,
but
not really.
They're there.
The Leviathan one is probably the most likely to come into play.
Yeah.
But that's it. And then this Biovore, I do have to show it off. I will be making a few of these, but this is from Pete the Wargamer. I saw this video the second it came out, when it did a while ago. Really awesome conversion he did. If you are just not a fan of the resin Biovores.
Which Craig is not.
Nope, not at all. And if you want to get a little more cost effective, because you can buy this kit for what? $75 US for 3 of them. If you buy the ugly old Biovore from GW, it's like $40 a pop.
Is that just consisting of a Tyrant Guard and what's that gun?
That's all Hive Guard. So Tyrant Guard and Hive Guard are multi-part.
Oh, you're just buying that one box.
Yep, you're buying that one box. The additions he added to here, that middle arm is a Gene Stealer hand.
Which I would imagine you have
Everyone should have plenty of those laying around.
Yep.
And all of the little sack things are green stuff. So just green stuff, extra Gene Stealer arms, and the Biovore or Hive Guard kit / Tyrant Guard kit.
Yeah.
So very, very awesome conversion. I have a funny suspicion that GW will make new Biovores next year. But for the time being, if you're going to use them in a tournament and you hate the ugly things that GW has created, use these instead. So just shouting that out there.
Yeah.
Now let's get into, this is the real stuff here. So how to get the most out of your Spore Mines.
Right.
So you got, like I said, 1 mortal wound on average per Biovore if you're shooting with them directly.
Yeah.
Not really great. It's something in a key situation, maybe you got a unit way in the back, you got to drop 1 mortal wound on.
Right.
It could be big.
There's one guy left and he's
holding an objective and
yeah.
you just got to finish him off. Yes, that can come up to be good.
Yeah.
The better thing is to be a master of a troll with your Spore Mines. And it comes into a couple ways. So you can move block with your Spore Mines, or you can ambush with your Spore Mines. Move blocking would consist of, you've got a big threat, and you need to stop said threat from getting closer to your army. So think of maybe, I'm trying to think of a unit, a big dreadnought. For me, one of my most recent game, it was Mortarion. I did not want him getting anywhere near some of my units. So you spawn the Spore Mines and you make a bubble. Here, let's do this.
You have an average of 6
dice cam. We're gonna throw in the dice cam.
Oh.
I am going to grab my Spore Mines.
Oh, nice.
I didn't think about this. We have technology.
We have technology.
Bam. Spawned in. You spawn them in 6 inches away. Let's be real here. So these Spore Mines come in. And now this is a unit of 5, so they have coherency of just 2 inches for one model. If you do end up with 6 or more, you do have to remember to maintain coherency. So ideally 5 is the key number. But if these gaunts are back here, then they cannot take a full movement. They could take a full movement, but then they risk taking, all of these mortal wounds. That's, anywhere from, I think average of 5 blowing up is 7 mortal wounds?
Right.
Potentially.
So you're essentially blocking them because if they go there, you get to auto-explode.
Auto-explode there.
Right.
Or when you have to think a little bit, you got some big unit that has fly. I could get Mortarion out of here. Maybe he's going to be a bit much. Oh no. Let's do.
Got the, yeah.
Here we go.
What a perfect little.
A perfect unit that would totally throw off Necron players. Because this would happen in the movement phase.
So he's got fly. It's the Nightbringer.
What's his movement? 8 inches?
It is 8 or 9.
Okay, so we'll say 8 or 9. You could spawn, 6 inches away. And because his is a nice 9, you can actually, you do that full 6 inches away, which means if he moves, he could get over you, but he would be within the 3 inches.
So they actually have a pretty big blocking radius because they don't charge, they have their auto-explode rule.
So in this case, he would have to deal with, okay, do I move up and take the mortal wounds and get my distance?
Yeah.
Or do I not? Another option you could do is play, and don't keep them 6 inches away, put them 7.5 or so inches away. That way,
you can't move up.
You can't move him there, so he's forced to stay back here. And then if he really doesn't want to take mortals, then he's forced to, only have a 4-inch movement or something.
Wow.
So that is the scenario of move blocking.
I see it now. Yeah.
Is trolling your opponent's key units. Think of things that are going to be either really fast or not the most mobile. If you're playing other tier players, they got a big monster that maybe moves really quick.
Yeah.
Just slap them right in front and prevent your opponent from going anywhere. The second one is going to be the ambushing. So let's go with, I'm gonna grab some crates here. You have a nice wall like so, and your opponent is sitting Termagants. They're gonna be Termagants. they're going to be sitting right here. All right, termagants here. Now you spawn your spore mines and you hide them behind here where they can't get shot or do anything really.
True.
And now, yes, your opponent can't go anywhere. Ideally, maybe you have like, there's an objective somewhere over here, or maybe over here that they have to move towards. Protect the spore mines. They just hang around for your opponent's turn. And then on your turn, you move them out.
Float towards you.
They're in range and then they blow up.
Yeah.
And your opponent maybe has to stay there because of an objective or some scenario that comes into play. You'll have to analyze your table and see what comes up.
Yeah.
But in some cases, it doesn't sound like that much. But I can tell you, mortal wounds, if you focus fire an opponent's unit over and over again with spore mines, causing them to slow down a key unit or just dealing the mortal wounds over, it'll add up. And maybe they're not playing Necrons where they'll just revive those mortal wounds every turn. Maybe they're playing Death Guard or Space Marines or other Tyranids.
Most other armies.
Anything, yeah. Most other armies that won't just revive like that. It will cause a huge annoying wrinkle in your opponent's plan.
Wow.
So I really like the Spore Mines. Now, are they I would include this in every single list type of unit? Not quite.
You could get rid of them if you really need points for other units.
Yeah.
But I think they make a lot of sense.
The beauty about taking a unit of 3 as well, and I don't have this officially in a slide or anything, but some other things is that they can do, normal actions. They can raise a banner.
Yeah.
If they need to. They can, if you're playing a faster army and you're going for engage in all fronts, they're a unit of 3. As long as one of those Biovores is alive in a corner, they can score engage in all fronts for you. So they do have their other purposes.
Relatively durable as well for a backfield.
Relatively durable, yeah. Your opponent can't just, deep strike some interceptors or something back there and just shoot them off.
Yeah.
They're going to take a little bit more heavy firepower. And if you stick them in some terrain or have light cover or something on them, they're going to be even more durable. And if you're playing with just the spawning, you're not going to really do much shooting. You can, you don't even need line of sight. Just hide them, tuck them in the corner. They don't need to see anything. They can be out of line of sight.
They will safely sit on your objective the whole game.
Pretty much.
So little spore mines.
That is the Biovores. There's not really anything else to them. They're 135 points to plug in a really big troll. Some armies are going to really struggle with this. I really like them. That's pretty much all the rambling. Let me know in the comments, are you one of those who have sworn by Biovores for a long time? Or am I shining a new light on another unit for you guys like Magical Zonky has done to me? So thank you, Magical Zonky, for pointing them out. I've really loved them. And thank you for all you guys for watching. We'll catch you next time here at Maelstrom Gaming Studios.
Thanks, you guys.